Hey guys, quick note. This was going to be a let's try, but then I just found myself committing to playing an entire match, and then I'm like, well, I spent all this time recording this. What do I do with that? This isn't on the schedule at all. So it's just gonna have to replace Dicey Dungeon for a few days, and it's just one game. It's just be a few days, and we'll be right back to Dicey Dungeon. I feel like it's a one-to-one replacement almost, because they're both dice rolling, chance-based things where you just figure out what to do with what you got, and so on and so forth. But yeah, sorry if you were looking for Dicey Dungeon. It'll be back in just a few days. I'm sorry. I just got carried away. Elder Sign Omens. Hey, we're trying this out today. Oh, this is a bit of a disappointment. So when I first started getting into tabletop games with some friends back in college and stuff, we started meeting up as a regular thing. Elder Sign was actually one of the first games that we started playing, and so it's kind of a gateway thing for me. Which I then later on tried Arkham Horror, but I kind of found that Elder Sign was a better paced iteration of Arkham Horror that actually was kind of more interesting while also being shorter and just generally being better in my opinion. But I don't know. But then they make a software version. I'm like, all right, cool. Maybe get some guys around and we'll go play some Elder Signs Omens. Yeah, this game's single player. What? I'm really confused by that choice. So here I am playing it alone, and also we'll see how much I can remember it. You can play Yig. Yig's anger, difficulty easy. Yig's servants are working to awaken him. Find enough Elder Signs before he's unleashed upon the world. So Elder Sign is a tabletop game, which you can play with your friends if you get the tabletop version, where you're trying to fight Lovecraftian creatures. And how do you fight Lovecraftian creatures? By not having them wake up in the first place. Mostly. So basically, there's a process you're going through to try to keep them from waking up at all. And that's how you win. It's just straight up avoid the catastrophe entirely. Now, if they do wake up, you can sort of fight them, but it's way harder than keeping them asleep in the first place. But you can technically defeat them through other mechanics, but it's usually stacked against you on purpose. It is, if it's like the tabletop game, is going to be a lot of dice rolling and chance-based stuff, so you're extra statistically screwed when you do make the mistake of having one of them wake up. That's quite the image. Is that like it's like a bat. Hastur, the king in yellow. The difficulties are getting higher. Azathoth. There's Cthulhu, very hard. Dark Pharaoh, also very hard. And then Ithaqua, insane. Okay, let's go pick a normal difficulty guy, which is just that image and that. Let's play Hastur, which seems to be, yeah, he's like a swarm of worms. The king in yellow is hidden in the museum. Other world adventures have extra doom penalty. Boop. Then you pick your investigation team, which I guess we have to do alone, huh? Guardian Angel. Sister Mary. Mary ignores locked glyphs that are relocked at the end of her turn, and immune to the nightly mythos effect. Harvey Walters, strong mind. Once per glyph conjure, Harvey may change a glyph, showing a terror to a lore. They have different starting items, and different mental and physical durabilities, and there are a lot of characters, as it turns out. I don't remember the game quite well enough, so we're gonna go a little fast and loose with this, perhaps. Improv. Let's try to pick people from different histories, essentially, and based on that a little bit. Let's get our hard-boiled character first. So we got this guy, Charlie Kane. If he succeeds at an adventure with another investigator, he gains 2 trophies. He seems to be that kind. Oop, there's one too. Jack of all trades. He will turn the yellow glyph into a result of his choice. This guy with a gun, Michael McGlenn. Very high heart here. Once per glyph conjure, Michael may change a glyph, showing a terror to a peril. Let's choose him. One-man army. Mark me complete. Order tasks in any order. Let's go find a scientisty character now. It's kind of the logic I'm going by. Is just pick people from different backgrounds for funsies. Not a ton of scientist-looking characters. I can't tell if this is... He's drawing glyphs on the wall, so that's one thing. If he succeeds at an adventure with another investigator, he gains one clue. Or there's this guy... Where was she? There she is. Science! Monsters cannot appear during Kate's turn. In addition, she's immune to all terror effects. Oh, that sounds powerful. Neato. There's definitely, like, performers and mystics here and there. In particular, she stands out back here. Yeah. Gloria Goldberg. He receives the yellow and red glyphs for free when doing otherworld adventures. Sure. And who's this guy? Dexter Drake. Whenever he gains one or more spells, he gains an extra spell. That sounds neat. Bring the magician character in. So we got a hard-boiled detective or mafioso or whatever that guy's background is. We got a scientist, a mystic, and a magician of sort, like a scryer, fortune teller style magician, and then an actual, like, I maybe can do straight up spells magician. Proceed to museum. But like a lot of
something terrible has begun to awaken within our museum. A something unsatisfied by mere exhibition or human study, writhing with ancient evil and terrible purpose. An entity that must, at all cost, be prevented access to our world. It's likely I will be branded as one unhinged for what I am about to do. From my studies, I am convinced such dangers are not new to the human experience. The very fact that humanity survives to this day, I attribute to our forebears' success in resisting the tormented realities beyond our own. Regrettably, such is not easy study. Among the rarities I have been fortunate enough to uncover, one particular emblem seems significant. A symbol of purported resistive faculty and considerable power. They called it the Elder Sign.
So if this is anything like the original version, it's probably going to be randomized, and that it tends to be that you, like in a lot of these PvE games, you kind of have a premise that's based around the particular enemy you're facing, and then you randomize the layouts of certain things and kind of make each playthrough kind of fresh. The King in Yellow. Rumor has it that the lost manuscript of The King in Yellow is hidden somewhere within the museum. You must find it before Hastur's minions do. Beware, Hastur's control over the other worlds have caused them to be more treacherous than normal. Of course, this is my first game, so it's not the best example. There, the entrance. First aid. Spend trophies to recover stamina or sanity. Lost and found. Take a chance. Gain certain things or lose health. Yeah, lose health, lose sanity, or get a variety of different things. The souvenir shop. Spend trophies to purchase items. I was kind of hoping for a tutorial. Did I miss the tutorial page? The gate to elsewhere. No adventure effect. The gift shop. So that's way over here. I actually can't leave this page? How do I leave this page? Oops. There's a little inventory. The King in Yellow. The other world adventures have doom +1 penalty. So the way this usually works is you need to collect 13 Elder Signs before this happens. So this part of the card is your victory condition, this part of the card is your failure condition. As you can see, there's fewer than 13 here. This is 11. So once we reach 11, I think it's doom tokens, then we're doomed. And these backgrounds indicate different things happening when you get to that marker. I'm straight up like, how do I leave this menu though? God damn it. Okay, this interface is terrible. It's straight up terrible. I can't... Once I opened the view things on the map button, I couldn't click out to look at the map again. Like, there's no X to leave it, and escape doesn't do anything. It's like made for phones or something? And it just kind of threw me in here. The gift shop, and like you can't highlight anything to find out what the tokens mean. Which means I'm definitely gonna have to go find like a tutorial or something. Help. Oh yeah, okay. Alright, well at least gives us something to work with. Alright, the objective of the game is to seal away the Ancient One before it awakens. To do this, you must accumulate enough Elder Signs to fill up the Ancient One's Elder Sign track. Investigators face adventures in and around the museum, where the Ancient One's return has been causing a number of bizarre events. Elder Signs. Though adventures investigators require rewards? That seems really... What is that sentence? The most prized rewards are Elder Signs, used to seal away the Ancient One and win the game. Lose game. If the Ancient One's Doom Tracker fills before any investigators can seal it away, or the investigation team is incapacitated, the Ancient One will awaken and devour the world. Wait, you just said... Wait, did you just lose? That's not how Elder Sign works. I have a copy of it over there. I haven't played it for years, but it's there. What's supposed to happen is every creature is supposed to have a different event of what happens when you lose. And they wake up. And some of them do certain things, and they're usually like, you're totally fucked, but you have a few turns to try to fight them, kind of. But there is at least one of them that just straight up is like, no, you lose. But it's not normal. Investigators. Each investigator has a unique combination of sanity, stamina, special abilities, and starting items. Team setup. Drag and drop up to 4 investigators into the empty slots. Yeah, we did that already. Or you can tap random to make a random team. Game turn. Investigators begin the game at the museum entrance. On their turn, the following must be done. Move to the entrance or an adventure. Resolve the adventure or perform an action at the entrance. Sanity and Stamina. Sanity and Stamina are used to track the current mental and physical health of each investigator. If either is reduced to 0, the investigator will die or go insane, removing them from the game. Special abilities. Each investigator has a unique special ability. These abilities can cause special game effects to occur. Tap the ability icon on the HUD to activate the investigator's special ability. So the special ability icon is the little guy with a gun little icon, I guess. Starting items. Each investigator has a list of starting items which determine the type and quantity of items he or she starts with. These are like the least helpful descriptions ever. Each person has starting items, which are the items they start with. Wow. Trophies. Investigators gain trophies from defeating monsters and successfully completing adventures. Trophies can be spent at an entrance to gain stamina and sanity, or to purchase items including the treasured Elder Signs. The HUD. The crazy-ass HUD, by the way. The Ancient One area shows the Elder Sign and Doom Track count. The clock shows the current game time and displays the status of the glyph pool. Any locked glyphs will be shown here. You should probably explain those sooner, maybe. The investigator area shows the active investigator sanity, stamina, and special ability, and inventory. The Elder Sign track. Each time the investigators find an Elder Sign, it is added to the Elder Sign track. If the track is filled, the Ancient One is sealed away and defeated, and the investigators win the game. Doom track. Yeah, we just said that. We just said what that one is. Ancient One. Tap the Ancient One to access its menu screen. This displays the number of Elder Signs, Dooms. If a Doom is added to the Doom track containing a monster icon, a monster will appear. The clock advances on every investigator's turn. When the clock strikes midnight, midnight effects are triggered. Tap the clock to pause the game and to access the pause menu. Team status. Tap the investigator portrait to access the team status screen. Here you can view the current sanity and stamina of your team as well as the full inventory and trophy count of each investigator. The ability icon. It'll glow when there are abilities that can be used. Investigator icon. There's a lot of like repetition in this description that isn't actually getting any deeper, which is a little weird. Tap the inventory on the HUD to show you the inventory that will glow when there are points that can be... when there are items that can be used at that point in the game. The inventory is not usable, it'll be darkened and not selectable. Museum map. At the start of the game, 6 random adventures are placed in the museum map. Investigators must explore these adventures in search of the Elder Signs. Each time the adventure is resolved, it is replaced by a new random adventure. Map markers. Adventures and other world locations are indicated by map markers. Tap any marker directly to select it, or use the navigation arrows at the top of the screen. When a map marker emits a colored ring, it means that the adventure has a locked glyph. Red, yellow, or green. Either monsters at the adventure or the adventure itself may lock a glyph. Quick icons. Icons related to the selected adventure will appear below the nameplate. These icons refer to the following situations of the adventure: Midnight Effect, Monsters, Terror Effect, Investigators, Locked Glyphs. Preview pane. Tap the nameplate to open the adventure preview. The preview displays the adventure's task, requirements, any midnight or terror effects, and the adventure's rewards and penalties. Tap the magnifying glass to proceed with the adventure. Entrance. Investigators may use their turn at the museum entrance. Tap the tabs to navigate between first aid, spend trophies to heal the active investigator. Lost and found, freely obtain a random item or negative effect. Yay! Negative effects, lost and found. Souvenirs, spend trophies on items or elder signs. Tasks. Each adventure features one or more tasks represented by the task ring. Task rings display symbols that represent the requirement necessary to complete the task. All tasks at an adventure must be completed in order to receive the adventurer's rewards. Investigators may only complete a single task per glyph conjure. Every requirement must be fulfilled in order to complete the task. Task results. Certain symbols on the task ring indicate a result that will occur when the task is completed. These effects will be applied when the other task requirements are filled. So they advance the clock, they lock the glyph, or they lose stamina or lose sanity, and so on. Monsters. When monsters appear, they are placed randomly in the museum. Monsters act like normal tasks, but may also lock glyphs and cause other negative effects. Monsters either cover an existing task or become an additional task at an adventure. Monster death. When a monster's task requirements are fulfilled, the monster will remain defeated even if the adventure was not completed. In addition, monsters may provide trophy and item rewards. Any task that a monster covered will reappear if the adventure was not completed. Ordered tasks. Certain adventures in the game require the investigator to complete the tasks in a specific order. Tasks will be marked with a numerical determining the order that the tasks must be completed. Once an investigator has started an adventure, they must attempt to complete all the tasks there. Tap the spellbook icon to commit to an adventure and conjure a random collection of glyphs. Use these glyphs to complete the tasks. So when they say conjure random glyphs, they're actually talking about the dice rolls, basically. You would roll dice, and then you just end up with these strange glyphs. Adventure info. During an adventure, you may tap on the nameplate to access the info pane. This window shows any current terror or midnight effects as well as the rewards and penalties of the adventure. The info pane may also allows you to fail the adventure at any time. Hooray! Press that fail button. Glyphs are the fundamental element in Elder Sign Omens. They are used to complete tasks and are conjured in the spellbook. Investigators usually have 6 green glyphs that they are able to randomly conjure the following results. I hope they show dice or something, because like otherwise just the people opening a panel and being like, oh, that's the glyphs I got. That sucks. Like, what do you even need? Like, you wouldn't even have context for why that's what's happening. Also, it's just satisfying to roll dice, even if they're not real. So there's 1, 2, 3 levels of investigation, then there's a lore icon, a peril icon, and a terror icon. 6 symbols for a 6-sided dice. Although I think you would get different dice that did different things on the sides in different proportions, and that was kind of part of the strategy. I think the colored glyphs were different dice or something like that. Special glyphs, oh yeah, there's the colors. The yellow glyph replaces the terror result with the 4 investigate result. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, but then blip, there's a 4th investigate, no terror. The red glyph replaces the terror and 1 investigate with a 4 investigate and a wild result. So now it goes 2, 3, 4 and then wild, which is different. I think that means you can pick what it is or something like that. Which this is the yellow and red dice having different things on their faces. Really, their refusal to acknowledge them being dice kind of just makes it more confusing to explain what they are and why they're randomized. The wild glyph result is unique to the red glyph. Tap the wild glyph to change the wild result into a peril, lore, terror, or 4 investigative result. Task complete. Drag conjured glyphs from the spell book to a task with a matching task requirement. Only 1 task may be completed at a time, and you must match all requirements of a task in 1 attempt in order to complete it. Task failure. If you cannot or do not wish to meet the requirements for the available tasks, you must discard a glyph from your spell book. Do this by dragging a glyph from the book, the discard portal. This glyph is lost and will not be conjured again for this adventure. So the more you fail, the more you slowly lose dice. I think you get to re-roll then, though, but at a higher risk, which is kind of what makes it exciting, too. The risk-reward involved. Focusing allows investigators at an adventure to be used for saving glyph results. To focus, drag a glyph result from the spellbook to an active investigator thumbnail. The next time glyphs are conjured, any focus glyphs will keep their result. The investigators may only focus 1 glyph per adventure attempt. I remember this. Yeah, it was part of the risk reward. Is like I didn't roll the right thing now, but I'm gonna try to keep this relatively rare roll that I got over here. But then I have to discard it, so you'll freeze 1 of your dice, so that you don't have to re-roll it. But then you'll have to throw away 1 of your dice because you failed the first time. And so now you have 1 less dice, but 1 pre-frozen dice. That's already one of the things you want. You just have to hope the remaining things can fall into place. And it gets more desperate the more dice you run out of, essentially. And that's what made it kind of fun. Just kind of high-stakes dice rolling, and then making these gambles and alterations. Rewards. When an investigator completes all the tasks in an adventure, they will receive the adventure's rewards. Below are the rewards of the game. You get an item, a spell, unique item, clue token, other world, elder sign, monster. That's not great news. But that shows us what the monster icon though was on the other thing. Reduce doom. That's also good. Reducing the doom tracker is good. Elder signs are good. Those are very good things to have. Penalties. When an investigator fails an adventure, he suffers the adventure's penalties. Below are some of the penalties in the game. Monster, lose sanity, doom token, lose stamina. Straightforward. Terror effects. Some adventures have terror effects, indicated by the terror icon. If a terror glyph result is conjured, tentacles appear around the nameplate. If the investigator is unable to complete a task and discards a glyph, he suffers the terror effect. So you need to nail it or you get the downside. So terror, discard all terror glyphs. Entry effects. This thing just keeps going to, oh my god, it does. It sure does. Ha. It's like we're learning an entire tabletop game for the sake of 1 video. It's basically the case. Entry effects are new adventure effects. These trigger when a new investigator moves to an adventure and conjures their first set of glyphs. Entry effects do not trigger if an investigator remains in the adventure. Only the first time. Midnight. Each time the clock strikes midnight, the game triggers random effects that may add doom or cause monsters to appear. Some adventures also have midnight effects that occur during this time. These effects impact all investigators and occur as long as that adventure is in play. Inventory. Each investigator has a collection of inventory items that can be used throughout the game. Inventory items are color-coded according to their category. Common, yellow, unique, red, spell, purple. Common items like the lantern, cigarette case, and 38 revolver typically add yellow glyphs to your spellbook. Tap an item from your inventory to open its dialogue window. Confirm to add it to your glyph pool for future roll. Unique items like the Ruby of Relay, Alien Statue, and Book of Dyson typically add red glyphs to your spellbook. Tap one of these items from your inventory to open its dialogue window. Tap the green check mark to add it. Yep. Spells such as the Wither typically allow you to lock glyphs and save the result. Tap a spell item to open the dialogue, then Clue tokens can be used after conjuring glyphs to reconjure any and all glyphs in your spellbook. Investigators may spend multiple clue tokens per conjure. Yeah, this is the thing where you keep re-rolling over and over again. Alter glyph. Items like shotgun or voice of Ra allow you to alter a glyph result. For example, the shotgun allows you to alter a glyph to a peril result. Voice of Ra allows you to alter a glyph to any result that the glyph can be conjured as. Find Gate. The Find Gate spell or Gate Opens reward adds an outer world adventure to the museum map. Outer worlds provide a greater chance of reward and sometimes greater risk. Even higher risk in the case of the yellow thing, as it said. Kill monster. Items like Bind Monster can be used to instantly defeat a monster at the adventure without paying any cost. Tap the item to your inventory and choose the monster you wish to defeat. Healing. Items like Heal, Cloud Memory, and Whiskey allow you to heal investigators. Some items heal only the active investigator. Others can heal any investigator on your team. If the team can affect any investigator, select whom you wish to affect and confirm. Special abilities are unique to each investigator and can change the outcome of an adventure or cause special game effects to occur. Tap the ability icon on the HUD to activate the investigator's special ability. I just read that again, didn't I, when I already knew it? Healing abilities, extra inventory, alter glyphs, add glyphs. I believe these are basically the same descriptions from before. Immunity. They can just ignore certain things. Yep. There's the Cthulhu and Ithaqua. I think they're saying these are new expansions allowed in this game. Yeah. None of which are the ones we're playing, because they're the high level difficulty ones. Gotcha. Alright, let's get back to our game now that we're half an hour in. Haha. So I've already gone to the gift shop, so at this point we just have to commit to my mistake. No adventure effect. I noticed that the shop was decorated with artifacts that could not be accommodated in exhibits. The clerk seemed to read my mind as I studied them, and assured me they were all quite genuine. I guess I can get one trophy. If I fail, I lose a sanity. If I win, I get an item, I believe. I don't want to. What is this interface, dude? Oh, now escape works. But only there. There we go. Yeah, this game, its interface is really iffy. And there's just a lot of times where a thing comes up on my screen, I'm just like, I've still got to learn what I can click on to make them go away. In this case, I guess I click on this again. Just having an X on the screen would simplify things, because there's other interface elements that have an X, like this one. So this character can convert a terror glyph into a peril as his ability. What are my items? They're irrelevant right now, apparently. Okay, so we need investigation 3. I already have that. Ta-da! Now I need another investigation 3. And I need that guy. I do not have any more investigations at all. But now it's saying I can use these. Use before conjuring to add a yellow glyph. It's a bit of a risk. Could get me into trouble. There we go. Going for the reroll. And I've got you and you. Success. I got a red item and one, I believe that's treasure. That's the gold, the currency. One event is fixed now. Kate Winthrop. It's really weird that I'm playing 4 characters in parallel, but the game's single player. I guess that if you're playing, you could play with 4 people on one console. I mean, on one computer, and just take turns, I guess. So technically, it has local multiplayer in that way. But yeah, no online. But I'm just gonna play all the characters today. All right, Kate. What do we have here? Ah, so when I was confused at that before, I could have clicked on the top bar to make it go away. This one has the reward of a little galaxy thing there, some clues. Failing gives you a doom token, so it's not a great idea to lose here. One of the goals would be to definitely find something that gives you an elder sign, if such a thing exists. This one will give me an elder sign. It looks hard to do. If I fail, I get a doom token and I lose health and sanity. So might want to stock up on items by doing easier challenges that are less likely to murder me. Like here, I gamble some sanity to see if I can do this. At midnight, all investigators lose 2 trophies. So it's also a thing I want to get rid of. Yeah. We want to work on this one because at midnight it's going to harm the entire party. And we don't want that to happen. So let's give it a go. The Curator. He was charming, articulate, and unmistakably evil. For what he had done, he could not be allowed to live. Use the book to conjure glyphs and complete tasks. So, boop. That's that, I guess, yeah. Clicking the book icon is how you roll dice in this game, essentially. What happens if I... So I don't have a 3. All I have is 2 of these scrolls. So it's not great. What happens if I use 2 scrolls and I don't have a 3rd one? You have to hit X? Ah, yeah, because you do have to do it in one go. And I have no inventory items, so I have 1. Lock a glyph to keep the result. We're going to want to keep one of these if we can. There we go. And then re-roll. I need to pick which one to throw away. I can't beat this. And then we re-roll. There we go. The results are not better. I still have this guy. But I need to roll either a 3 or 2 more of these. I rolled a 1, a 1, and a 2. So I have to try again. And I'm very much at risk of being in danger here. What is this saying? If no tasks were completed, investigators at the adventure may lock a glyph, result for later use. Okay, better. Now we have the 3. So at least we can complete one of them. But now we only have 2 dice, so it's useless. Some books are left unread. Am I just gonna keep rolling until I lose or something? I'm confused. How do the game should recognize that I've already lost at that point, right? Yep, I failed. -2 sanity. Ah. It's a hard roll. Dare I try it again? Might go bad very quickly. It has the negative effect that I'd want to deal with. Let's try one more time. Maybe I'll get lucky. That's something that happens to me. I'm definitely not going to just completely flubble this. So once again, we can start with you. But now this is hard. Ooh, not even one. So I have a spell lock, which is useless because I didn't roll a single right thing. And this thing gives me, yeah, it's a drink that gives me sanity. So at least I can heal after I fail in a moment. What's going on here? I'm not sure if this one is fully explained, but I think what they're saying is that if you roll the results for one part of the puzzle, you can then come in with another character to resolve the other issue. And you can save it. Like, it's not very well Oh, are you saying that each one of them can lock? Oh, I think you can store... I think you can store one on each of the individual heroes that are there, so when they're in the tile together, they can cooperate. But in this case, we're screwed. Wow, I'm just straight up not rolling any books. Kind of impressive. Yeah, I don't think I needed to use this item. I think I was able to store it on those characters. You make mistakes. Now we're very doomed. Ta-da! I could technically put this on you, but I don't think that's helpful, right? We just, yeah, because we just lose. Alright, so that's what I was misinterpreting there. Alright, I think I can finally make up for this horrible mistake on my part. Wow. These are impressively bad rolls. 3 of the sides of the dice are all investigation tokens. Investigation 1, Investigation 2, Investigation 3. And then there's the scroll, and then there's the terror, and then there's the peril. Each of those is a 1 and 6. Somehow, I rolled 6 dice, and 5 of them are all the same 2 sides that are specifically the only ones that I don't want. That's just astonishing. It's impressive. Alright. Wow. Let's store the 3. Okay, now they're all investigations and nothing else. Which is also its own different kind of impressive, I guess. But I am so screwed. RNG. I knew I was signing up for RNG, but I still wasn't fully prepared for the actual face of what RNG is like. I swear to God, this task requires 4 scrolls, and I'm not getting even 1? I wonder what the algorithm's like behind the scenes. I'm genuinely wondering, like, are you... I'm somehow feeling like dice would be betraying me less than this. I never saw a single scroll. I rolled like 5 times. That's astonishing. Well, I guess we all are gonna die. Okay. Oh, is it midnight? Oh, well, now we all get to have the negative effect. Doom +1. Everyone loses 2 trophies. I may have failed, but at least I hurt everybody in my party in the meantime. Yeah. Success is hard won in this game. You need 4 investigation for that. Significant negative outcomes. Wow. This one's severe too. To win, all you need is to roll a Doom token. Or a peril token. Twice. So roll 2 perils, you win. That's it. But the act of rolling a peril takes the stamina away. So your character's going to lose 2 stamina to complete this objective. And then if they lose 2 stamina in addition to that. Every terror you roll makes you lose a stamina. And your reward is 2 gold and 2 I think it's common items. Oh shit, I just clicked on it. Well, here we go. I'm gonna lose this game. Come on, man. Oh. At least I didn't roll any terror icons. Oh, there's a terror icon. Goody, thanks. If no tasks were completed and a terror glyph was conjured, a terror effect will occur. Great. And I rolled no skulls, so... Here comes the terror effect. Ow. Skull! Ow. Skull! Only 1 task will be completed per conjure. Alright. Nope. You can't save any dice when you've succeeded. Quick. Ow. Alright, well at least you got rewards, but ow. Overall, I think I would say that I'd prefer to play this as a tabletop game, and so I think I'd recommend seeking out that experience if you are. The drama of the difficult rolls is kind of better enjoyed with a group of people, but also just seeing all of the cards and being able to read them openly without having to fight through the interface just kind of seems more optimal. I got this for like $1 on a Steam sale, so I just wanted to check it out because I was curious, but like, I can't even look at what this is. I guess it's like anti-monster, probably kills a monster. But I mean, like, it's just nice to be like, read the full description of every card that's on the board right now and be able to look through your character sheet and all of the items in your inventory, because they're a deck of cards in your hand, basically. And that's just kind of a more... It's just a less confusing way to present a game. So while... I almost said Gilded Veil. What was it called? So while that one, I think it was called Veil or something. It might have been called Gilded Veil. That one card game that I played where you'd build cards and stuff like that was actually really, it was kind of improved by being played as a PC game. And I kind of think Carcassonne and some other games are kind of improved as being smoothed out as a PC game, so you don't have to like do all the math and calculate scores and stuff like that, and you get to just focus on laying tiles. I'm not sure if Elder Sign is an example of that. A Doom token if you fail. I try to avoid those because it's monstrous if that happens. Spend trophies to recover sanity or stamina. I have no trophies anyway. Take a chance. Not the worst option sometimes. A Doom token. I don't want to risk a Doom token unless it looks really easy. 3 scrolls seems like it'd be kind of easy, but I don't trust it. It helps to investigate what they're good at. So, Outer God's Flute. Use this after conjuring to defeat one monster. So she can defeat a monster. I think it's via this item. And then the monsters cannot appear during her turn. She's immune to all terror effects. So that's her strength. So you want to play to your character's strength if you can. So going after terror effects makes sense. Ooh, a monster appears here at midnight. Those are a lot of... not a lot of positive things. It makes a monster appear when you resolve it, which is not great, but you get an Elder Sign, which is nice. We have to roll 3 terrors. Whereas here it's terror, discard all terror glyphs. What's brutal about that is that means, I believe, if any dice rolls a terror, it goes away. Which means you can't use it anymore to roll other things. But if she takes this one on, she can try to get this item, and she's immune to the negative effect of the scenario. So she can roll terror effects freely and not have to worry about that. She still has to roll 2 skulls and a 3 investigation. Skull, 3 investigation. Good start. Uh-oh. Please roll a skull. Please roll a skull. Please roll a skull. Dice. You monsters. I think I'm remembering why we don't play a ton of, don't get a lot of use out of Elder Sign and Arkham Horror these days. I think the theming and the drama of the rolls was more exciting when we weren't used to that many tabletop games yet. Like, we straight up went from, like, apples to apples to this. We played Yahtzee and apples to apples, then we played Elder Sign, because I picked it up at, like, at a Barnes & Noble or something, and we're trying to dip our toes and stuff. Then we moved on to, like... But yeah, back then we used to play Munchkin, but then we moved on to, like, D&D. And then the other tabletop group moved on to, like, Twilight Imperium, and many, many other more interesting games. And so the sheer level of RNG is kind of rough. Psychic sensitivity. When attempting an other-world adventure, Gloria receives the yellow and red glyphs for free. Okay. That's good. So she gets to roll a red and a yellow dice, basically, whenever she does an other-world adventure. That's not very useful right now, because we don't have one to do. I can use this item to heal my sanity, and that's just a holding thing. Let's go ahead and use that, I think. Or how do I use it? Yeah. Heal her up. I believe she still gets her turn, right? Alright. Still trying to figure this one out. It's rough, but it's also just RNG. Your chances of getting 3 of the same glyph is pretty rough, though, so we kind of want to maybe come back when we have an item that might help us convert an item into that. If we're lucky. The Mysterious Tome. That's a doom effect, unfortunately. This one's a little misleading. Roll 3 terrors in order to defeat this scenario where a monster appears. But... at midnight, a monster appears. If you succeed, a monster appears. So all you're really doing is making the monster appear faster. But you get an Elder Sign, you get an item, you get a clue, you get 2 trophies, and you only lose 1 sanity for losing. That's not the worst. But you have to roll 3 terrors. You become that which you... I didn't read that in time. That's 1 terror. That's no additional terrors. Please roll a terror. That's 2 terrors. She can thankfully store the other terror in her item over here. So this, we just have to hope with 1 and 6 this next dice is a terror. It is not. Ah, do it anyway. Make me feel good about myself. Whee! No, we're doomed. Yep. And then she suffers a sanity. But if somebody helps her, they might do better, because she's there to hold an additional item. But in that case, it wouldn't have helped, because I already had 2 items to store 2 of the terrors with, so at that point I just needed to roll a 3rd terror, and I'm just not doing it. Which is not... there's not a lot you can do about that. Just losing the RNG and constantly losing more and more health as a result. Just want that elder sign. Every midnight, this guy gains a doom counter, so we are behind the times already. Two terrors. Okay. So what do we have here? We can lock a glyph to keep a result. Put a terror there. Then what else do we hit? That's a red dice. And you can hold one of these guys. I should have given it to him. I think I don't know if I use the items permanently or if they already can, or if they can always store an item. A third terror, finally. There we go. Finally a success at something. We get an elder sign. And a monster appears.